Hi, welcome to another episode of Bethany Talks About Stuff. I'm your host, Bethany F. DeVores, author of the Sea Adrasian Chronicles, available from Amazon. And today is my first episode in the year of our Lord, 2022. Not sure if I could make that any more obnoxious. This is my first episode this year. Yay! So I'm happy to see you guys. I'm glad we all made it through the new year. I didn't know if I was going to make it through Vlogmas or not. So if you haven't been on my channel or if you're not used to this show, I tried to do a Vlogmas this year where I started, and I actually at this point don't remember when I actually started, but I did a little quick episode every day up until Christmas. And I was supposed to end on Christmas Day, but ended up doing the day after. Anyway, that's all beside the point. I did it. It was a challenge. I don't know if I'll do it again next year, but I learned a lot. So anyway, today I just want to take a quick minute before I launch into my actual topic to say Happy New Year. 2021 was a burning dumpster fire. Yeah. When we left 2020, a lot of people were like, phew, goodbye 2020 and hello 2021. This is going to be a better year. And I kind of remember being that pessimist that was like, I don't think 2021 is really going to be any better. In my opinion, it really wasn't much better. But I do feel like we're turning a corner. I think 2022 is going to be better. Anyway, lapel mic. You can tell, by the way, I'm still not in my office. I did move the camera down here and set up a light, but my desktop upstairs is still toast. I'm really sad about that. Anyway, today's topic, what I wanted to talk about, is actually kind of a strange topic. It's not my normal pop culture thing, but I think it's important. It's going to sound like it's not important, but I promise I'm taking it somewhere. So I wanted to talk about personality tests. That might seem like a strange thing to say is an important topic. But if you're like me, you've either taken personality tests for fun, or you've had to for work, or even for school. And what I've noticed that I do, and I think other people probably do it too, is you take these personality tests. And it's fun, but there's a danger in seeing the personality test and going, oh, that's so me. Which, okay, that's fine. There are a lot of things a good personality test is probably going to pick up on some of your traits. That's the point, right? But it's easy to look at that personality test and go, well, that's why I can't succeed at XYZ, because that's my personality. So I'm just stuck. I'm not ever going to excel past that because of my weaknesses. Now, I just want to say that's not true. Like, that seems so plain for me to say, but it's not true. And let me tell you why I feel so strongly about this right now. I have taken a gazillion personality tests, partly because of work and school throughout my life, but also because I just find them kind of fun. And I'm a little bit in love with myself, so I like to hear things about myself. But I do find them interesting. But every once in a while, I'll come across a personality test that kind of messes with my head a little bit. And not in a good way. So to give you an example, I recently took a personality test I've never taken before. And it was a fairly accurate assessment of my personality. And I looked at it, and the point, well, let me tell you what I did first. So I looked at it and I'm like, yay, my strengths, I like those strengths. But then I looked at the weaknesses and I'm like, I am doomed to never succeed at the things I actually want to succeed at because of my personality. I'm just stuck. This is it. And I mean, y'all, that sent me into like a tailspin for weeks. And I called friends and I'm like, I am stuck. I can't figure out what's happening. And everybody's like, what is happening right now? And one of my really close friends was like, here we go again. she's so patient, y'all. But she was just like, I don't think because I feel like I'm failing at stuff. And she's like, you're not failing. In fact, you're just not. You're just putting that on yourself. And so it made me really think about the pros and cons of a personality test. So one of the pros, of course, is that you do learn your strengths and weaknesses, at least on a surface level. And I think that is good. It's good to know your strengths so that you can really leverage your strengths. It's good to know your weaknesses, but not for the reason that, or not so you can do what I did, which was to pigeonhole yourself and get all upset, but to say, okay, I know this is weakness. Now, what do I do to overcome it? It's not well, gosh, just how it is. I'm just stuck, which is kind of what I did. Might have been a slight overreaction, but it's just meant to help you say, okay, look, I'm not always great about keeping up with all these little tasks. I mean, I have lots of plates. Personally, I have lots of plates spinning all the time. I even like plate spinner games where you have to do all this different stuff. But it is, when you have that happening, it's easy to kind of let stuff get away from you. So that's why people laugh about me and my planners. I love my planners. I have my planner right here, looking really pretty. Beautiful look at stickers. I have special pins. I had a happy planner. I switched to this. This is a Legend Weekly. Anyway, that's what this is about. Sorry. That is not what this is about. But I know that I have to do something to help keep track of things I need to take care of. And if I just rely on my memory, it's not going to happen. And that has helped. A planner or a to-do list has helped improve my follow through a lot. In fact, while I love my planner, it's helped me a lot with goals. I've actually switched to a plain to-do list in Microsoft Teams. So I can just check stuff off. Kind of like you just write it on my boss writes everything on a sticky. And then she said, well, I think she's switched now. But at one time she was like, I have this stack of stickies. And then every time she would do something, she'd throw the sticky away. And it gave her the sense of, I've completed this. And I'm like, that didn't work for me. Just putting it out there. But it worked for her. So this is something I'm using as an example. Planning is something doesn't come as naturally to me as it does to other people with a different type of personality. So I have to work on it. But I had read this personality test, the analysis, and it crushed me. And it was not an unflattering assessment, but I really was it made me feel like that's all there was to me. So why am I bringing all this up for this show? I'm going to tell you. It's because out of nowhere, well, not necessarily out of nowhere, but I was thinking about that test and just going through my day, and all of a sudden I thought, I am more than a personality test. Now, this sounds like, yeah, of course you are. But for some reason I'd gotten so focused on this test, and I really was letting it mess with my head. And I just thought, I am more than a personality test, and what I accomplish in life is not based on a personality test. It's based on what I choose to do. What am I, willing to invest my time into? Where am I willing to put those skills, and where am I willing to put my effort? Because at the end of the day, you can have all the natural strengths, character strengths you need to accomplish a goal and still never make it because you just don't put the effort into it. And that made me really stop and think about how I'm spending my time and what I'm doing to reach my goals. But I thought, not only am I more than a personality test, as a Christian, it reminded me that I am made in God's image because we are all made in God's image, which means we all have inherent worth. Every person has inherent worth because we are made in the image of God. But it also means that we're very complex people and that you can't pigeonhole people into a personality test. Because that's the other thing I'm bad about, pigeonholing myself. But then it's easy to look at somebody and go, I know what kind of personality test they are, or what personality type they are. I know how to deal with them. Well, that might give you some insight, but it is not the end all be all of a person. So a few years ago, when I first entered, I'm in a management position now, but when I first entered a management position, the company I worked for was a subsidiary of a bigger company, and that subsidiary had us all come out. We flew out to California. Those of us that didn't live in California flew out to California, and we did this seminar with an outside company came in, and they're like, we build super teams. And what they had us do is everybody had to take a personality test. And then you had to disclose what your personality was, what your type was. And then you had to learn your strengths and weaknesses, and then learn about the other personality types. And then once we knew what everybody else's personality types were, the intention was that it would help us to better communicate with other personality types, because we would better understand what they respond to, what they like, and how their brain works a little bit better, and our coworkers would better understand us. So there's merit to that, because it did actually help my communication in the sense that I obviously like to talk, because here we are, but I kind of write like that. And for a long time, my emails at work, my boss would just be like, you got to boil it down, because I'd write like a novel. And they didn't understand why she wasn't responding to me quickly. But her personality type didn't respond well to that. She just needed, boom, give me the bottom line as quick as possible, tell me what the problem is, and how do we fix it. And I'd have to give all this color around it. Well, let me explain. 10 years ago when they created this software, it did this and that, and blah, but we don't need all that. And while I still can be too wordy, I definitely am better in the office, like at my day job, with being more direct, more succinct. And I'm finding I'm accepting stuff better that way too. And it makes sense. So I'm not going to say there's no value to doing personality tests and that kind of work, but don't let it pigeonhole you. Don't let it stop you from doing something because you're like, that's just not my personality type. Well, yes, you probably shouldn't completely fight your personality type. It's obviously better if you can find interests or careers that flow in line with your strengths. But there's never going to be a career, there's never going to be a path in life that lines up so perfectly with your personality that there is never going to be an impediment because of your weakness. Everybody has weaknesses, and they're always going to be something you deal with, no matter what you're doing, no matter who you're dealing with. So the idea that if I could just find that perfect thing for my personality, everything would just be fine. And that's just not how life works. And I think that's just a lesson. Maybe you don't need to hear this. I needed to hear it. So I just feel like maybe there's somebody else that needed to hear it too. So just don't not take a personality test, but buyer beware. You got to be careful about how you apply that knowledge to your life and whether or not you accept it. And you have to also bear in mind, if you took your personality test when you were having a bad day or just in a little bit of a funk or something, it might actually not even accurately reflect who you truly are or what your personality truly is like, but how it was that day. So there's a lot of danger inherent to that process. So just be careful. But y'all, I think it's just a good thing to tell people and remind us that, particularly as Christians, the Bible says we are fearfully and wonderfully made. And it's just a nice encouragement. Like, I needed to be reminded that I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I am complex, and I am not just a personality test. So I hope that encouraged you. I know it's a little off topic with pop culture, but sometimes we just need a good word. So it was so heavy on my heart, I thought I would share it. So regular content is coming, though. I also want to point out that even though I'm not in my normal room, I'm going to be trying to get out more regular content. And I have a book review coming. And oh gosh, I've recorded this so many times, I don't remember if I've talked about it or not yet. I have a book review coming of a book called When Winter Comes by Andrew Klavan, which I'm a little over halfway through that book. It's a mystery, so it's taken me a little longer to read it because, well, it just is. But it's good. It's very good. I saw Spider-Man No Way Home, and I have feelings about this, and I'm not going to act like they're good feelings. All that kind of stuff is coming. I have a video about my trip from last September when I went up to Murphy, North Carolina and had a little adventure. So that is coming, and I've got good plans, or at least I feel like they're good plans for episodes, but I'm interested in your feedback. Which of these shows that you've seen so far did you really like? Which ones did you not like? I've gotten some feedback about, I'll tell you, an example would be my episode about online dating. Evidently really resonated with people. I heard a lot about that episode. So in good ways, but people were like, yes, I know exactly where you're coming from. So if you want more like that, or, I only had a couple of people respond to my recap of Zack Snyder's Justice League. I think it's because it was really long and it was super spoilerific. It was full of spoilers. It was full of spoilers. I basically just told the movie over. So the people I know who did watch it because they'd already seen the movie seemed to like it, but a lot of people are like, I haven't seen the movie yet. And by the time they did, they kind of forgot about it. And I'm like, well, go back and watch it now. Because I want to know if you liked it too, or what you thought. So I really, your feedback is very important. I'm doing this because I want to bring content that people want to see. So please, your feedback of what you would like to see this year would be great. If you have an idea for an episode, please drop it in the comments, or I've got listed on my little thing here now the different social media platforms where you can find me. So drop it in the comments here, or shoot me a message on my page, Bethany Talks About Stuff, on Facebook, or follow me on Locals, which, by the way, I really like Locals. I'm really digging that. It's pretty fun. But anyway, let me know through one of those venues, and I really appreciate the input. In the meantime, I hope you guys have already had a wonderful new year so far, and of course, I wish you all the best. And I'm looking forward to growing through another year. See, growing. We're going to grow. Anyway, that's it for now.